Murli Notes, 12 September 2023. The third eye, the divine eye. The mirror of your heart is also your conscience. Your intellect is also your conscience. Conscience is activated by feeling, recognition, and by calculation. Mahsustaki Shakti, the power of feeling. It can also be called intuition. It is the power to recognize what is right and wrong, who is true and who is false. It is the power of discernment that comes from the fusion of the heart and intellect. Intellect means reason, logic, calculation. Heart means sensitivity, but not to sense perception. The third eye is the instrument to carry your sensitivity beyond sense perception. The vast majority of people cannot go beyond sense perception. Only those who can use the heart and intellect beyond and independently of sense perception can use the third eye fully. The practice of yoga is to stabilize the mind and intellect beyond sense perception. Then only the mind is not impacted or polluted by the perception of the inhuman behavior of those in positions of power towards those in weak positions. When the mind and intellect are stabilized beyond sense perception, then, with the third eye, you can perceive clearly that what appears to be a position of power occupied by a weak soul is not in fact a position of power. Rather, it is an excuse for that weak soul to create negative karma and get deeply in bondage to the excesses of their own violence and corruption. This then traps that soul and casts it into a hellish situation at the moment of their death. As a result, they reincarnate in a weak position in which they are prey to other weak souls in positions of power. A powerful soul in a weak position has a better opportunity to become free from such traps because that soul is disillusioned. While the state of disillusionment is not pleasant, it is a state in which you can see clearly with the third eye. A weak soul in a weak position cannot hold their mind steady or perceive beyond sense perception. Being locked into sense perception causes that soul to slide into depression, and that weak soul gets easily used and abused by weak souls in positions of power. A powerful soul in a weak position can more easily stabilize in the position of a detached observer of the performances of others. In that state, the powerful soul in a weak position has the time and energy available to engage in spiritual practice to a greater extent than if they were in a position of power. In this way, the powerful soul in a weak position becomes even more powerful and is ultimately able to occupy a position of power without getting corrupted. This spiritual law is not much recognized or appreciated because positive circumstances trap the soul in sense perception, and that soul becomes blind and deaf to what can be perceived only when the third eye is fully open and stable in perception through the mind and intellect that is beyond sense perception. As we come closer to more tangible breakdown of the social, political, and natural infrastructures, abuses of weak souls in positions of power are becoming exposed and increasingly evident. This creates more widespread disillusionment. Weak souls who are disillusioned collapse easily, whereas powerful souls that are disillusioned become progressively more free, independent, and more strongly connected to God. This phenomenon accelerates the speed of the disintegration of the old cycle and the integrity of the new cycle that is replacing the old.